Allison Johansson here with Supported Change, licensed clinical social worker. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about stress, anxiety, all of these words that we use to talk about that uncomfortable feeling that we get throughout life. I think the biggest word I hear is stress. You guys all hear it. I'm stressed today. Oh my gosh, life is so stressful. What does that even mean? And I think that's a big piece. When I think it's almost so common to say I've been so stressed that we as a community don't even know what we're talking about. We start to say it without knowing. It means I have a lot going on. But what stress really means is that overexertion. So when I have a ton going on, I can do it all and not be stressed. Or I could have this much stress. Stress isn't always a bad thing either. This much stress is actually great because it motivates us. It's when it gets to this extreme amount of I'm crying, or I can't concentrate, or I am forgetting things around me. Those types of stresses are the types that cause problems in your life. I don't think any of us could deny that. And we've all been there, because what happens is I have this little thing and this little thing and this little thing and this little thing, and I don't manage any of these little things, and so instead they become a big blow up. So I want to talk a little bit about stress, and then I'm going to move over into anxiety and how they're different, because the words get mixed up quite a bit, and it's hard to tell what's what. And they overlap some, and so you might find that in what I'm talking about. So talking about when I have this and this and this and this and this and this going on, what does it mean? Sometimes it's, I have this that I have no control over. A family member who's sick. I have someone in my life who's annoying me and I don't know what to do with them. I have, the kids have to be 8 different places at once. I need to be 8 different places at once. My finances are low and I don't know how I'm going to pay the bills this month. There's different levels of it, as you can tell. And really sitting down and noticing that what happens is your brain activates. The purpose of stress is to motivate. It's to activate you. Well, that gets to be too much, and that's when we start having problems. So noticing the activation. How activated am I? And sometimes it can be putting it on a scale, 0 to 10. For a visual person, it could be going like this. How active am I? When you're this active, that's where you want to be. When you're this active, it's hard to get stuff done. You start shutting down. You don't know what to do. And when you're like this, learning how to get to here. Not to here, because having no stress is shutting down as well. So being able to stop and say, what do I have control over? Let me see if I can do one thing at a time. Or what do I need to manage in my life? What do I need to work on for myself because it's really impacting me? Is there a solution to this problem? Where can I make changes in my life so that this doesn't become a long-term issue? Do I need to be better with my finances? Try out a financial app, or get a different job, or find a different way to make money. Do I need to address my concerns with the person around me? Take a break from the relationship for a little while, give a little less energy to it. If you can. Sometimes you just can't. You're the only one there for that person. Do I need to, am I just stressing myself out? Is all this just little stuff that I've made into big stuff, and I just need to exhale, maybe take a shower, maybe take a nap, and say, it's not the end of the world if not all this gets done. Do I need to organize my day better? Things that allow you to say, okay, And a lot of times that you have to almost do that. Okay. What the heck is going on? I'm here. I don't know where I'm at, frankly, because I'm here. Let me tone that down a little. So stress, we've all been through different levels of it. Some of it we have control over, some of it we don't. There's tons of stress management tools out there. If you Google search stress management, you'd learn about manicures and taking a bath and essential oils and, you know, drinking your water, making the lists. I've talked about that many, many times. How do I make a list that's productive? And just a reminder of that, it's about breaking it down into what I have control over, what do I not, what is the thing I need to do once, and then doing it one at a time. It's just a quick, brief explanation of what's effective and what I teach for list making. But really what it's all about is saying an awareness of where you are in your level of stress. Where am I right now? Am I burnt out on any parts of my life? If you are, then you probably need to ask for help, bring someone in. Oh my gosh, how uncomfortable is that? Asking for help. We're taught, you know, we don't need help, we just suck. Sorry, my phone had a glitch in it. But I'm strong, I can do this. And then moving on from that and saying, I can't do it all on my own. I've got to find some help. Let's move on a little bit into anxiety and how that's similar and different from stress. Anxiety is stressful. If you're anxious about going into a group of people, you're going to want to avoid it. There's going to be stress in that. If you're anxious about anything, generalized anxiety, if you just have anxiety, it's stressful to do anything because you don't know when it's going to pop up and you don't know how to manage it sometimes. But anxiety is more of this chemical piece in our body that heightens, and sometimes stress causes anxiety. Sometimes I get so far to here that things make me anxious. But anxiety can come from a lot of different things, and many times it comes from our past, whether we recognize it's coming from our past or not. Sometimes it doesn't feel like it comes from our past. And sometimes it's just a chemical piece in our brains that's got, you know, I don't have the right neurotransmitters firing at the right time, and so I'm feeling anxious about everything. But anxiety is this, you feel it in your body. It's hard to describe for a lot of people. Extreme anxiety is breathlessness, feeling like you're having a heart attack, your heart racing, panic attacks. Some people even pass out because of it. Down from that is your mind racing, difficulty concentrating, getting a little jittery, feeling like you can't stop moving with certain things. You might notice some avoidance. I don't want to be a place because it makes me anxious. I don't want to go do this because it makes me anxious. You might notice some negative thoughts going around about yourself and how you fit in and what people notice and the things that happen within that. You might just notice worry, flat out worry. But that anxiety, is some of the same stuff helps with it, but it's a whole different can of worms. And you can address it two different ways. You can even say, let's get to the root of my anxiety. Where did it all start? Where did these messages come from? What messages are going on in my head? Sometimes it's so loud you don't even know what's happening. And how can I slow down and manage it? How can I slow my brain, not my body, and start to manage it? Where can I step in just a little bit to this thing that makes me anxious so that my body knows that it's safe? That's really what anxiety is it's our body telling us we're not safe right now. And I want you to be safe. So we have to recognize I am safe. I am not in danger. I'm not running from a saber-toothed tiger. I'm not doing these things. So being able to slow your brain a little bit is what anxiety is all about. Similar to stress, but different, because it's slowing your body about more stuff. It's not about the tasks going on or the things happening in life. It's about the thoughts I'm having. Does that person like me? Did I say the wrong thing? Am I doing my job wrong? Is there something wrong with me? These thoughts that kind of exacerbate into different things are generally where anxiety starts coming from. And so it takes a lot of awareness, and it takes a lot of slowing down your mind and saying, what are the thoughts? And remembering a thought is just a thought. It doesn't, just because you think it doesn't make it true. and being able to recognize that. And some people call their anxiety stress. And so when you get anxious, you feel like you're the only one there because this person's saying, I'm stressed. And you're like, well, I'm anxious. They look very similar, and so it's hard to tell the difference. But there are people all around this world, and many of us have been through parts of our lives where we felt one, the other, or both. So being able to break it all down for yourself. And really both of them, whether it's stress or anxiety, it's about slowing down. Stress is about slowing down your body and the world around you. Anxiety is more about slowing down your mind and how you process those thoughts and recognizing what's a thought and what's a fact. Because just because you think it doesn't mean it's true. Our thoughts come from a wide variety of things that have happened in our lives. Some of it being really, really great and factual, and some of it not. And some of the things we think are true because we're smart people. But recognizing it might not be. I don't know if it's true unless I have the exact evidence to say that. And that can really help with anxiety. I don't know that this person doesn't like me. I don't know that that's a grimace or something that I assumed was a grimace. I don't know that I did a bad job unless someone came in and said you did a really bad job, which turns into stress at that point. And that's really a great way to define it. Stress is about stuff we know, and anxiety is about stuff we just don't know. So I hope that clarifies the difference between the two, and helps people use the language the way that it needs to. But the language is going to be what the language is going to be. Please feel free to share this if there's anybody that you know that may benefit from it. And I will see you next time on my Facebook Lives.